Hello and welcome to another JelloCast. This is the sixth installment of it, and we have reappearing guest Steven, because I'm still at his place.
Hello, my name is Steven, and he is still at my place.
Yay! And of course, Tutt.
Yay! What's up?
Yeah. So,
Today we're going to be extending on our topic, or the topic that we left off on, and that is storytelling. And on our first thing, we have character development and how to create a good character and such like that.
the wonderful
So, yeah. Since Steve is our guest, go ahead and tell us how you usually would develop a character.
Well, what I usually start by is designing the character. I try to get as many character designs as I can as possible, just by drawing, and here and there I draw a lot of character designs, but I don't use many. And when I'm gonna start writing a new character, I have a pool of designs I can take from, and then I can repurpose design elements to better fit the character that I ended up creating. So first I usually draw a character, then I forget about the character for a while, and then when I want to create a character, I just go from my stash of already designed characters to kind of get inspiration to see who would fit in a story, or if I'm starting a new story from scratch, and basing it around the first character I'm creating. That's usually when I have a clear vision in the first place, and I know kind of what the character is going to be like. And I will admit that you never quite settle on how that character is, and that actually helps you keep it as a dynamic character and make them interesting and have evolution, because sometimes you create a character thinking they'll have one story arc and end up seeing that, oh, maybe it'll fit better if they did the opposite of what you had planned.
That ends up fitting really well into how, when you're developing a character, and you always do that. A lot of people sometimes end up messing up a lot when they end up try to make a character, and their character's got all of this stuff going on all at once, and then suddenly they want to change something, and then none of it lines up correctly, and it ends up ruining the story. That's the bad stuff.
Yeah.
That's the bad stuff.
How do you do it, Tutt?
Somewhat similarly, I guess. First off, I want to get a general idea of like what the characters' motives are, and their world around them. So I think of a story idea, or like a general backstory, and then I center like the personality and the looks of the person around that story, and I guess that's really how I just make a character. But I edit along the way, like I said before last stream. There's no, like, if you create a character, it doesn't just stop there. You have to try to edit it to make it seem more better and more involved, and definitely make it seem like a relatable character, so that way people will actually like the character and enjoy them on the screen and such.
Do you think you probably enjoy the process of making the characters more than some people actually like the characters, though? Because that happens a lot with me.
I really like just creating the characters so far. I don't know. Creating the actual story is somewhat harder than you'd actually think. At least for me, and it's got me thinking, actually, because I don't know which one I enjoy the most. It depends on the character and the story, I guess. Sometimes I like creating the story better, or creating the story more.
I know. I meant more audience size. Like, if you present your story to an audience, do you think that the audience doesn't like the character as much as you enjoyed making it? It's like you make this character and you're super hyped about it. You put a lot of effort into it, and you think this is the best character ever, and then you put it out into the audience, and they look at it and think, oh, fuck this character.
Yeah, I guess that's the kind of sacrifice that you're gonna have to make every now and then, because you never know with these types of things. It's definitely a leap of faith whenever you create a character and a story plot line, because you pour your emotions into it unless you're trying to get a quick cash grab or anything like that.
Yeah.
And
Also
you work hard on this character.
Also,
so.
Hi Tom, how's it going?
Hi.
It's the Tom 5000.
Hello, Thomas.
He is here.
How are you doing
boy.
today?
But yeah, it's definitely a risk taker, and I don't know. If people have a problem with the character and they really hate the character, then I want to hear their critique on it and how to make a better character that would suit the audience and stuff like that. And maybe maybe people said that the character doesn't fit well within the story as well, which could be a thing as well. And I would want to hear the critique. And so that whenever I go back to it or have a different thing, I can change it and feel or, improve myself for the next time I create a story. So that way it feels more interactive.
See, most of my stories are way too ongoing when it comes to characters not really being the best. I just kind of have to work with what I'm given.
Yeah. That's understandable.
I don't exactly do my character development. I don't create characters the same way that you guys do. You guys make a character and then kind of work everything else around it. I do it in the exact opposite direction.
I usually know what kind of arc I'm gonna give to a character, like whether they're gonna have a happy ending, a tough life, and what they're gonna have to work through. So that's a good thing to start with when you want to create a character. It's not just create a motivation, but create an arc, like what they're how they as a person, their personality are going to be challenged by the world around them.
Would you say that you actually really like when character growth a lot in that sense then?
Yes, I do like when characters go through very dramatic changes.
You like that?
I do like that.
Oh, I get tired of that really quickly.
Okay, well, it can't be the same character going through change after change after change after change.
That's basically
So you really like dynamic characters, is what you're saying?
Yeah, understand, you need to keep it contained. Unlike some shows that go on forever, like I think about Dragon Ball or Naruto or One Piece.
Dragon Ball, though.
One Piece. There's some things, some of those, not just because they're anime, but also because I can't just get into the idea of wow, where does it stop? Where is the end for this character? When have they learned enough? Because it just seems like they reset to zero whenever they reach a new story arc, and it kind of gets annoying. But since they already went through so much stuff beforehand, it just piles up after pile up, and you say where's the limit? What are they limited by, and stuff like that?
Making too much of
for
a
example,
thing.
Dragon Ball, Goku always has a new upgrade transformation, and that gets kind of stale after a while.
Yeah, no. I mean, Dragon Ball Super, in that sense, just feels really contrived at that point, because every single power-up that he gets is I thought it was this powerful, but no, it's this powerful.
Yeah.
Put it way up there.
Yeah, so that's just talking about the, what's it called? I forgot the term for it, but that's just the power limit. But it also applies to a character, their personality, their character arc, and how they are as people. So you can't just have them learn a new lesson and a new lesson, because I don't know if anybody here watches The Flash or Arrow, all the CW TV shows that DC makes. When you watch those shows, every season they learn the same lesson from a different side character they'll never see again, or stuff like that. Or they teach the same lessons to new characters every time, and it just gets stale. And we heard these inspirational speeches 10 times in all the other shows and all the other seasons. So it's okay, when are they actually going to learn how to be better?
When are they going to learn a lesson and
we
stick
thought,
with them instead of just, hey, I learned this lesson. No, I didn't.
I learned this lesson. Okay, next episode, oh, I'm a douche again. Let me learn the new lesson, and then next episode, next season, next character. It gets old, so know when to stop and when to contain it. Like, know your end goal and don't just blow your whole load in like the first chapters. So I'm saying
with shows. And when it comes down to that, I feel like that's more the hand of like production, working its way through the artist's grip.
Yeah, like CW is CW is notorious for just recycling the basic plots, the basic lessons throughout the 4 superhero shows, and it gets really stale very quickly if you binge all of those together.
Which, of course, we all do.
Yeah, exactly.
Happens a lot though.
Yeah.
Like it's
it
especially
does.
like when production gets their hands on the idea, like, hey, what's this filler thing everyone's talking about? Let's add a ton of that for money.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to use source material for some reason.
Like
it's like the beach episode in every fucking anime.
Oh yeah.
But it's worse than that, because like the CW shows, they have one plot that they recycle for every time they introduce a new character. It's I am gonna try to do this thing on my own, and then I'm gonna fail, and they're like, you have to understand, you have to let your friends help you. We are there for you, and you can only be stronger with your friends. And it's just rehashed inspirational bullcrap.
Yeah, it's like if the lesson keeps on being like, hey, your friends are here to help you. If I'd learned that lesson every week in real life, if someone kept on making me try to teach them that same lesson every week, I'd probably just be like, I'm not gonna be here for you next time. Go fuck yourself. I've taught you this lesson about 40 times now, and you're still just denying it all. You know, you're
yeah. Now I don't want any friends. Like, my God. No.
Basically, what I'm trying to say.
Also...
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Basically, what I'm trying to say is that you have to know when to end your story, because, we've talked about only show. Like when I made these examples, it's only shows, and they tend to have that problem because they go on forever, or they're popular enough to go on forever, or they're forced to go on forever, so they can never truly end.
It's kind of like I call it like the Simpsons theory, because you know how long that show's been on for. It's like one of the most like
it is the
long. It's like the longest, or and sitcom, I think it is, and you know, they've done just about everything that they can do, and you know, it heavily relies on pop culture and stuff like that, and it's kind of gotten really old, if anything.
I mean, I normally,
if anything, it
normally watch that kind of
evolve.
stuff. Yeah, do you get? I mean, I don't know. Whenever I'm watching stuff like The Simpsons, I normally just play it in the background, and I'd probably like grab my phone, look at like just memes or other stuff or social media kind of stuff instead of actually paying attention to the show anymore. And then they play like the old episodes, and I'm like, oh, classics.
Yeah.
The older episodes are good.
Yeah, I always enjoy myself. Some of the I wish I knew the titles to some of the episodes of The Simpsons so I could go look them up.
Yeah. I don't know. I think we had this DVD set of like Tree of Horrors, like the old ones, and those were like really good. So I remember, like I said, they've done just about everything. They've always been like the first ones to do it, and now like people are kind of following them and doing the same. I think that The Simpsons needs. God damn it! The Simpsons needs to like stop airing. I guess, or new episodes. Yeah.
Nice. You're definitely talking 2 hours.
My pandemic came back for just like a split second.
2 hours. No, I can't talk in 2 hours. In 2 hours, it's gonna be time to get set for sleep.
Yeah. But yeah. Next thing on our thing or on our list is create invasive plot or invasive. I can't talk today. I'm so sorry.
At least you're trying. What is it? Yeah. Creating a plot?
And what's the word?
Inventing?
Invested plot, I guess. I don't know.
Investing.
What are you trying to...
She's trying to say how to create a plot that people are invested in.
A good plot. Just a plot that someone can get hooked by.
Make a lot of fan service. That's how you make a good plot.
That's great. What's also work is
mean-
also make it interactive.
Yeah.
Because then they'll
That's-
invest
yes.
time.
That's what you do. You make yours interactive, and it makes people way more interested.
Yeah,
And you can tell that because there's
Yeah.
the whole mystery solving stuff on your server now.
exactly. That's the good stuff.
Yeah.
Because if you make something
Well-
interactive, people will connect with it a lot more. So basically, turn your thing,
Yeah.
add a game element. Because that's when you play video game, you get a lot more invested in plots, and a lot of video games have shitty plots, but still get people hooked
Yeah.
because of the
I don't-
gameplay of the world and all that.
I don't know if we get
Well-
super invested in like the story of some stuff. Like me and
Yeah.
you, like
You and I.
whatever. You and I, we both
I think-
play Skyrim and stuff.
Yeah.
We're not at all invested in the story of the characters.
Yeah,
of
exactly.
Skyrim.
We just want to feel like we're doing this
Actually,
stuff.
no, that's not entirely true. When I played the Dark Brotherhood part, I got really invested.
Okay, yeah. See, there's stuff you get invested in, but you get invested even more because you're the character. You're controlling the character. It's you're that character
Yeah.
doing those stuff. So like on the smaller scale, because obviously when we create a story like you and I do, we're not creating video games. So when I add an interactive element like solving codes and ciphers, it makes people more interested in what those ciphers are telling the audience through storytelling.
That is true. My way of creating a plot for these kind of things is because I'm not much with the interactivity part. I'd rather make stories that were less interactive for one part, but then completely interactive for a different part. That's why I'm a DM and a story writer separately.
DM means Dungeon Master for the unacquainted to Dungeons and Dragons. It is a
Yes.
very popular tabletop RPG. RPG means role-playing game.
I am what you call a massive nerd.
Yes, he is.
Yes.
And I do not approve.
Yes.
Oof.
Oof.
When I
Steven,
make,
don't you play D&D? Like,
he's one of my players.
I played on 2 occasions.
all right.
3 occasions.
Yeah, there you go. 3 occasions. Don't get that close to the mic.
I'll get as close as I
Oh
want to.
gosh. All right, so
Oh, here it
I
is.
get.
with mine, I make the one that's interactive because its entire purpose is to be interactive. Is that I just make the story really loose. Stop it. Stop looking at me like
Continue talking. I'm not
that.
saying
I
anything.
make the story really loose because most of it's actually created by the characters unintentionally. They don't realize it a lot of the time when I do that, but I make a story based entirely on what they're doing, and every normal story that I come up with are these tiny garbage things that I just toss out of the way whenever they do something different. That's almost always how it is. Like I remember I told you about the whole story I planned for the D&D that I did with Steven, actually. I told you the whole story. Didn't go that way at all.
Yeah.
We found a dragon,
They found a dragon.
and I kept the dragon
Yeah.
because I'm a dragonborn.
Originally there was never a dragon in there.
Yeah, and you put it in there because I'm a dragonborn.
Did you end up telling like the original story to them, or like did you keep it under
Nope.
wraps?
I told Rose because she was really, really curious, but I don't think I told anyone else.
Yeah, he kept it a secret from me because apparently I'm not good enough to hear his story.
You never asked.
I did ask, and you said maybe some other time, and you basically ignored it.
Oh yeah, because I'm planning to reuse some aspects of it.
Ah.
Every story that you mess up if you're a DM, every story that you toss away or throw out because the characters didn't do what you expected them, every single one of them can be reused. So keep those doc, man. Keep all the docs.
Mm-hmm.
They're super useful.
Like,
Never toss those, ever.
I'll toss it.
Reuse them for other players and don't let them know because then they'll think that you're a cheapskate. I've done that at least 4 times now.
let's just say that drawing that I did for the thing was very important to the story. To like the initial story.
Oh,
That's why-
I was wondering, like,
I
who was
asked
this
you.
guy?
Yeah.
Like, okay, we're getting to.
because he was more important than he should have
Yeah.
than you guys made him out to be. He just was like a passing character to you guys.
We're getting too self-referential here for an audience.
Yeah. And Tutt drew a picture of a character that I've made super important in a story that I made for D&D, and all of the characters when they met him were just like "fuck you" and then walked past.
That was the general consensus.
Oh my god.
I built all of the story that was in my head around like to do with that character and other stuff, and they were all like, "Why do you bring a kid to a mine full of monsters? What the fuck? Why would you do that?" And then I immediately realized, oh shit, maybe my story has some holes in it.
No, but the most important, the biggest thing that made us not care about that character is that whenever I asked, like when we first met him, I asked a bunch of questions because I was like interested, like, okay, what's the deal here? Let's find out a little bit more. And the character was not answering or answered vaguely or like dodge the question. So I was like, okay, I'm not getting anything of this character. Let's just skip to the next thing. Because like, okay, well, I'm not finding anything new and interesting here, so let's go into the cave where there might be something new and interesting. So that was the problem there. Is that it was too. You wanted to keep the character mysterious,
problem was,
which
like,
I understood.
Keeping interest with it was based mostly on Corey and not much on anyone else. So everyone else was just like, he's a guy, let's leave. And Corey was like, I want to get away from you, sir.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Did you tell the others what you told Corey?
No, I can't,
like...
because that character still exists.
Alright.
I can't give that information. Now it's getting confusing because this is all stuff that only me and you know, Tutt.
Alright.
Yeah.
Let's
Don't
move
worry
on.
about
Do you
it.
guys want to move on to next topic or go back to the topic we were originally talking about? Which
all
was...
we talked about is your D&D game.
Okay, let's talk about creating a plot.
Yeah.
Okay, let's create a plot.
So,
what I do... Okay, or
create
do you want to go first, Tutt?
I'd like to go first.
Okay,
No, it's up to you,
go
go.
first.
Okay.
DevBear goes first because
Alright,
he
so-
begged for it.
Nice. The way that I always made a plot was I tried to create a single concept. Ooh. There we go.
Ooh.
I tried to make an entire concept based, and I based the story around the concept. Normally, I make stupid shit. I always make stupid shit. My funner things are always based on some weird power, or I try to make a concept more realistic and it gets really strange. Like I remember I woke up one day and I'm like, oh, what the heck? What if someone was so smart that they were able to control each individual cell in their body? And I made an entire story based on that, and then my computer died and I lost all of it.
That's great.
I was really sad. I wrote like 12 chapters on it, and then it all just disappeared.
That made me interested as well.
And then like a concept that I've started and I have yet to make big progress on was I wanted to think of the idea of like limbo. I like stories about that kind of stuff, and I have the concept of limbo in my head, and I tried to take that one concept and just make it into an entire story. So all of the characters are based around the concept instead of the concept being around the characters. That's how I do it. I know you guys don't really do it that way.
Nice.
So, when I created the plot of the story that I'm currently working on, basically I had this character that was ill-defined. I'm not going to say what this character is, obviously. What?
Just saying. Hi, Steph. Bye, Steph.
Hi, Steph. Bye, Steph. Okay. So I created this character just for shits and giggles, and I was like, hey, I want to use this character, but what could his backstory be? Let's talk about this character a little more. And then I realized that anything I came up with was very cliche and boring. So as usual. So instead, I completely flipped the character on his head, making it also cliche but in the opposite direction. And I found out that this was kind of an interesting character. It added more questions and gave answers to me. So I was like, well, okay, let's go a little deeper in this. And I started creating the world around this character and why it was like this, why this character was the way he was. And the further I got along, the more I had to create, and I'm still in the process of creating all that. And it's just going to be a hell of a world building challenge for me, because I don't want it to be too cliche or too unoriginal, but also there are some story elements that I've ripped from real world type of concepts, so eventually they do get cliche, but more so on the trope side than cliche, which is what I'm trying to do, and I'm still working on that. And it's just, so basically I start off with one character that I happened to design and made them interesting to me. And basically also a good thing to do is to put your real life experiences in your stories, if not literally, put metaphors for them, and that's basically the plot of my story. It's just a big metaphor for the troubles I've gone through, the good parts I've gone through, and all that stuff. Every aspect of that story is a metaphor for my life in some way or another.
Makes it, it's an easy way to make an interesting story by doing that,
Yeah.
Also, hi K-Shot, what's up?
Yo.
Hello.
Usually, when I create a story, I want to create more questions than there are answers. So
Why
I
would
start.
you do that?
I do that, and I'm
Well, here's the thing.
getting stuck
It
because
keeps.
of that.
Well, here's the thing. That usually keeps me invested in my own story, and it also can well, create mystery with the viewers or the readers or whatever.
Okay, because I've done that too, put a lot more questions than there are answers, and it just gives me anxiety by how much I have to answer.
Yeah.
And it's awful.
Oof.
I don't know. I think that I can handle it somewhat, but I don't know. Usually it also gets me really excited to just answer those questions, and that creates a sort of anxiety for me then, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
Man,
But
that shit gives me I fucking hate that. I hate whenever a story is going along the route of like, oh hey, we have a lot of questions but very minimal answers.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you move from one topic to another and you haven't answered the last topic, I'm sitting here and the first thought that comes into my head is like, what about that thing though?
Yeah. But it's still good to plant seeds of the bigger picture
Yeah.
in the very beginning, like that. It looks like
Well,
you
yeah.
put more planning into it.
Yeah, do foreshadowing, but
Yeah.
please don't set yourself up for plot holes.
Yeah.
no,
I've
like
just done a bunch of
definitely put some foreshadowing.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have put a shit ton of foreshadowing. So much foreshadowing.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
no
know if
idea.
you guys know this, but it's kind of now in the Steven Universe community to go back into older episodes and then relate them to newer episodes, and it's like a lot of the shit that is passive, like, you know, for comedic effect, is actually foreshadowing, and it's bad.
That sounds super exhausting.
It is.
Yeah.
All right,
Next
move on to
topic.
the next topic. Yeah, we got
Creating.
creating a cipher.
Creating a cipher. So who wants to go first?
Who?
I haven't
could I
created a lot
ever
of ciphers. So, Steven,
What?
how about you present yourself in creating a cipher?
Oh,
How do
I
you
go
do
first?
it?
You are the person here
Yes.
who makes the ciphers.
Okay, so I've
Yeah.
made 3 ciphers.
You've made more than 3.
I have?
I believe so.
Okay, I've made
At least 3.
3.5 at least.
3.5, yeah.
At least 3.5 ciphers.
Three.
So I made 3. Let's talk about the main 3 that I created. So the first one I created was basically, I watch Gravity Falls. I like ciphers. Like, I'm gonna create my own cipher. And basically, if you look at the first cipher I created, it looks very similar to the Gravity Falls ciphers. It uses the same type of symbols.
Very much so.
It's not like carbon copy of the symbols. Like, there are a few that are mimicked or are just ripped off, but the other ones like are all original in some way, shape, or form.
I remember when I first saw that cipher, I spent like a few hours just searching up
Gravity
not Gravity Falls, just obscure symbol cipher, like obscure symbol alphabets,
Yeah.
thinking that you were just going to be a cheapskate and just grab one off the internet, but then I found out that you actually made every single symbol yourself.
So it looks like a Gravity Falls cipher. Like, at first it was laziness, but in hindsight I'm saying, hey, it's good way to grab an audience, because like, hey, is that a Gravity Falls ciphers? So they get interested because they like Gravity Falls. But then they realize, oh no, it's a new thing. So like, oh, new thing, great. I like new things. Since Gravity Falls ended, I'm gonna enjoy this new thing. So at first it was just cheap, but unintentionally, it was a way to grab and get the attention of a new audience that already liked Gravity Falls and therefore would like my stuff. Because
It's a good way to build an audience that you want, because
Yeah.
you have it pretty much set that the only people that are going to put a lot of time into your videos are probably going to be people that are interested in codes and ciphers and that kind of stuff.
Exactly. So that's the first cipher. I call it the pineapple cipher or the tribal cipher.
Yeah.
It's the most used cipher on my channel, and it has been solved like countless of times, and I even put the alphabet up in my recent sketchbook video.
It's not like whenever more than like 10 people have solved your cipher, you're just like, fuck it, I'll just put it up on my server.
Yeah, I put it up on my server, and then I put it up on my video. So that one is up there for people to have fun with. The second cipher that I created is a little more complicated. What I did is I kept a design idea, and this was the primordial cryptos. It's the one that has yet to be solved by anyone but DevBear.
Hey,
DevBear's-
release it now. I solved that cipher and I didn't tell anyone because I'm a dick.
Yeah, He's the only one to solve it, and it took him over a year and a half to solve it.
It did. It took me a long time. The thing is, I went on a huge break because it frustrated me, and then I came back and found out that he wrote like one thing in that cipher and people solved it, and I saw that and I'm like, huh. So I have like 7 words of his cipher now.
Letters.
7 letters, yeah. 7 letters of the cipher. So I went back to it and I started putting in all the letters, and then I started like slowly figuring out while talking to Steven. And then I remember you were going to bed, and I said, I said, you know, I'm probably gonna solve this within the next 30 minutes now that I figured it out. And you said, go ahead, try. And you went off to get ready for bed. And when you were finished getting ready for bed, you came back and saw I typed in your solved message.
And I got
just like the entire message all solved.
I was impressed.
He said he was gonna stab me.
All right, so I'm going to talk about the design of that cipher. So I kept a common element, a common shape that's in every single letter to make it look uniform and kind of like
pretty,
and you know, it's like very organized. Because they like the way that shape that reoccurs in every letter is the other letters can just interlocked underneath every letter. And so it can be like a little like chain. It gives a chain link effect or like scales, and that's what I went for.
Don't give away too much because people still haven't solved it.
Okay, yeah, I'm not giving away. I'm just talking about how the letters look.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And the reason this is a simple symbol substitution cipher, just like the first cipher I made. But the difference with this one, which makes it so much harder, is that I didn't put any spacing in the paragraphs.
It ruins it. It makes it so fucking hard to do.
Yeah, it makes it virtually impossible.
Oh.
And that's a way to make, like, any symbol substitution cipher can be solved as long as there is spacing.
Yeah. If you know how long the letters are, you can
words?
You can find the singular letters and you get singular letter words. The A's and the I's, and then you figure out A and I, and if there's any word that has 3 letters and it has an A in the middle, there's a limited amount of words it can be, so you can you just figure stuff out. You just see it and you're like, well, that's that, so
without the spacing,
all together. That
second cipher became very hard, even though it was the same principle as the other one, just different symbols for the different letters of the alphabet. That was the second cipher. And the third cipher I made a little more complicated, but a little more easy, so like I didn't cheat to make it complicated by taking out the spacing like I did the other one. So I actually
is this the other one that people have solved? The Mr. Prime's journal?
cipher. Yeah, the Mr. Prime cipher.
Yeah.
And this one, what I did is I created 2 ciphers, and just mixed and matched them. Basically, this cipher has 2 symbols for each letter of the alphabet. So instead of 26 letters, there are like 54 different symbols. What?
52.
52 different symbols for the entire cipher. So there are double the amount of letters to solve and find. So it's just the same way to solve the previous 2. You find the spacings, and once you found the spacings, you can deduce what words are each. But it just adds an extra step because you find new symbols for the letters every time.
Do you remember how long it took me to solve that one? I don't remember it taking very long.
It took longer than your first.
Longer than the first one, but much shorter than Primordial. Like I'm pretty sure it took me like a couple weeks.
A couple weeks?
Yeah, maybe 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
When I started actually getting like properly into solving it, and that it's because you left like the huge hint right at the start, where the first sentence in the whole book was to whom it may concern.
Yeah, that was a huge hint, and that's how people noticed that there were double the amount of symbols.
It's good because the moment you see how many words there are, how many letters each word is, you can almost automatically figure out to whom it may concern is going to be the first sentence.
Yeah.
It's a good hint, I think, because I think people would have taken ages to figure it out if it wasn't.
Especially if I hadn't mentioned that there are multiple symbols for the same letter.
Did you mention that to them?
It was basically mentioned by telling them the answer of the first sentence, which was to whom may concern.
Oh yeah, because there were doubles.
Yeah.
I remember it confused a lot of people because the letter I and A, they kept on seeing like the one letter words, but they were like different, more than they needed to be. So they were like, what's the extra ones?
Yeah, exactly. So
I remember seeing the first message. I don't remember who it was that solved it originally, but they saw this one and this one are the same.
Exactly. So that's how I created my 3 current ciphers. And the 0.5 cipher is just basically the second cipher that is within the Mr. Prime cipher, since it's basically two symbol substitution ciphers mixed into one. And I am planning to create more ciphers in the future. I'm going to make them a lot more difficult, or a lot more stupid elaborate, rather.
Oh.
Going to give like an actual method, like you need to know a pattern or a key or a way of looking to understand how to solve it.
Yeah.
Think out. I want to make the cipher, the solution to the cipher, that you have to think outside the box, not think about, you know, just text when you look at it.
Mm-hmm.
So what about you guys? What are your thoughts on ciphers and creating ciphers?
I mean, I made a cipher just to contest with you, just so that you had something to solve, and you're way worse at solving ciphers than I am.
Well, I just got super busy, honestly.
Yeah.
Total, I spent maybe less than 24 hours total actually working on the cipher.
Ouch.
I just got super busy, sorry, dude.
To be fair, I worked very little to make the cipher in the first place. I used like simple keys that you can make for ciphers, where you just draw like noughts and crosses thing, and then just put symbols in it, and then cut it up into like 9 letters, and then just keep doing that with different ones.
Yeah.
That's fun. That's the way you should do it.
I just wanted to ask you, Steven, have you ever thought of changing ciphers, like the symbols and stuff like that, and like during the middle of a story and having everyone redo their research?
I'd rather not, for plot consistency.
You've brought it up before.
Yeah, because I don't want to like randomly just change that. If I'm gonna create a new cipher, like I wouldn't want to change the current ciphers, just replace the how it looks, like replace the design, but I will add new ciphers within the plot, and each cipher has a reason. For example, the tribal cipher, the pineapple cipher, is just like the common alphabet of this people, this tribe. So that's just how they write their languages, with this cipher, with this alphabet. Just like, you know, the Egyptians have hieroglyphics, the the Libyans have the cuneiforms, and so on.
Numerous have wingdings.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the lore behind that cipher. It's just one way to write. It's one form of writing that was created through history, within the context of my story. The Mr. Prime cipher was created by Mr. Prime specifically for him to understand, and only him. And he made it a little complex-ish by adding a second layer of letters, just to make it harder for people to decipher if they were ever to find his notebook. And the third cipher, the Primordial Cryptos, that one's a extremely religious and intentionally vague cipher. That's why it's hard to read in the first place, because there's no spacing, and it's more about what the symbols mean than what the symbols are spelling. Because I'm not done with the actual in-lore creation of that cipher. I am still giving each symbol, so each letter, a meaning, and then people's names, they have an actual birth name, and they have a true name, and their true name is written in that cipher, and depending on what the symbols are, their name literally defines, like, is basically written down what this person is, their core. It's basically writing, if you write down their name, you're writing down the entire being of that person.
Take notes, French pineapple fans.
Bitch, do that. Yeah.
I'm a bit entranced with the idea that each symbol in your primordial cipher has like a specific meaning, and I want to try and figure it out now. So I have to go like scouring through all the points where you show pictures with it.
Yeah, I wonder what meaning the symbols on Mr. Prime's wrists mean.
Gay European, I imagine.
No, he's not European. Well,
gay European.
Gay or European. It's hard to crack the code. Ha ha, code.
Nice.
Nah.
Oh yeah.
All right.
His accent is hypnotic, but his shoes are pointy-toed. Sorry.
If you guys, if any of you guys want to make a cipher, say into audience, if you guys think you're pretty good at making cipher, send it my way, and I'll see how long it might take me to solve them. Because if I want more ciphers to solve, Steven makes one every while.
Yeah, I've been on YouTube 2 years, and I've done 3 ciphers.
Yes.
Nice.
Technically 4 if you count like the Caesar cipher.
The Caesar cipher is just like I don't count.
Is your number like specific, or is it just?
I just used the number 5.
Just the number 5.
Yeah,
it's
and I don't really use Caesar cipher anymore. It's like I used that when I didn't want to be ripping off of Gravity Falls. I hadn't created my first cipher yet.
Yeah. If you added the Caesar cipher to any of the ciphers that have been solved already, that would be a huge dick move.
Yeah, but true. I wouldn't. But that would be like pointless, honestly.
That would confuse people so much.
Yeah, because I wouldn't do that.
Just
The Caesar cipher doesn't really fit in the lore of my
or
videos anymore. So does the app bash cipher. Those don't like fit. Because the point of the ciphers in lore is not like, oh, I'm gonna hide something except for Mr. Prime. That's the point
In
of the
that case,
cipher.
it is, yeah.
That-
Just I'm hiding this.
Yeah, Mr. Prime's reason for the cipher is I'm hiding this, whereas the other two are just a language.
Yeah, it's just a language you got to try and figure out.
Yeah.
Oof.
Instead of creating a language like what is it called, Klingon or Elvish, I just created a written language.
Yeah, let's not get into the phonetics and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't want to go that way with the friggin' languages and lore, man.
Anyway,
just speak French.
do any of you have anything to add to the ciphers, or should we move to the next topic?
I mean, no, because you're the one who's mostly on ciphers. The ciphers that I know, everything from my perspective is just how to solve a cipher. So I can go with that.
For me,
Right.
go ahead.
I don't know.
You go first. Then.
You go first, lady.
It's short, but usually whenever I was like, I'm gonna create a cipher for this very specific story, I just draw random ass symbols and that's it.
Nice.
That's all I do.
I have a specific key if I want to do that, but I don't use it often. I'll probably use it. Yeah, I'll probably use it for stuff.
For stuff.
Yeah,
Nice.
stuff
Why would we use it
involving
for
you
that, of all
and
things?
Rose and Jess and Corey if they're up for it.
Neat.
Yeah. So.
He's talking about Dungeons and Dragons, nerds.
Yay. All right. So, from my perspective, easy ways to solve ciphers. This is fine because I was at the time I was in my first year of university when I was trying to solve Steven's first cipher, and I did a bad thing. I remember right before an exam I was sitting outside, and instead of like doing extra study or quizzing myself, I was sitting there with a little notebook solving one of his ciphers.
Oh, I love that image.
I passed the exam, so it's okay.
Good.
But with that, make sure you're writing stuff. What? Yeah, I'm keeping track.
Okay, good.
For solving it, for me, the easiest way to do it is to have more different words or more different ciphers that have come around the place. So, with Stevens, when I first saw his original cipher, his original one that he made, I couldn't solve it. I couldn't solve it because it was only like 3 words at max, because it was the monster ones where it had pictures of all your YouTube friends, all drawn as monsters. The thing that made it easier for me was when I did a little digging and I found one of your sketchbook pages where you were like, you'd drawn out a picture with you and all your friends.
Yeah, for my birthday.
Yeah, for your birthday. And you had like a big, long, full sentence thing. The moment I had a full paragraph of that cipher, everything just fell right into place. It became way easier. First thing you gotta do, of course, look for the one letter words. The moment you find that, you can literally just like figure everything out. You don't need to, no. If you have like the one letter words, they're in every other word there because they're vowels.
And that's when you move on to 2-letter words and 3-letter words.
Oh, I mean, I moved on to 5-letter words after that.
Okay, with just 1 letter now?
That's all you need.
All right, if you say so.
If you're a lazy piece of shit like me, you can go out and find like automatic finishers where you have like a little bar that has like whatever amount of boxes and just put in the placement of each letter that you've already found, and it'll just give you like 2,000 words, and you can just sift through looking for the word that fits. It fits the sentence really well.
You cheater.
Or you can just use your crazy good memory, because I remember every word that's ever been said by anyone ever.
You cheater.
That's right.
No, let's do that. All right, next topic. Question mark.
Move on.
There's writing and art blocks. Writing and art blocks. Whenever you can't think of a creative idea, or you can't just think of an idea just to draw whenever you have the urge, or same thing for writing.
Little selfish thing to me, because I have like I've seen a lot of videos and stuff on like how to get through writer's block, how to get through art block. Writer's block isn't really super existent for me. I normally have a lot of ideas that come up really randomly that I kept from like shitty dreams and shit.
Well, look at you, Mr. All Special.
Yeah, I'm super special. I'm great.
Yeah.
Everyone
Alright.
should love me.
So
Bragging.
I have solutions to writer's block and art block. So let me start with writer's block because I don't have as much block on that one. When you're just when you're stuck and you want to create a completely new story, and that's where you're blocked at, I do something called flipping the script.
Flipping the script.
Flipping the script. For example, like I saw this from another YouTuber who that's where I learned it from, and basically he took the example of take the plot of Star Wars and flip the script. Take the prequels, for example. Instead of having Anakin, be on the good guy's side and fall into the dark side, make it like, for example, like play with the setting and then do it fantasy for instead, like, because like the opposite of sci-fi is fantasy.
Make
So
a fan fiction.
So do fantasy and have this character who is like the chosen one, obviously, because it's Star Wars and that's
Yeah,
the
you
plot.
must be the chosen one.
So it's this guy. He's special and he's taken into this society of these magical wizards, and they teach him everything he needs to know, and he slowly realizes that these wizards are maybe not all that nice, and that maybe they have been oppressing people for millennia, but he just was living on the good side of life, being within their temples and all that the whole time. They did not realize how oppressive these wizards are and how evil they are. So he like talks to different wizards and all that.
Rose just said Harry Potter?
No. He talks to different wizards, and he realizes, he finds this one who like feels the same way, and they start talking. He's an elder wizard, and he tells him about this ancient magic that they could maybe solve this problem of this corruption within this wizard society.
Hey, yo, what's that ancient magic called, my dude?
I don't care. Like, this is just like abstract because like it's just spitballing. So
I was making a joke about how this mysterious force in Star Wars is just called the Force.
Okay, whatever. You interrupted me, and I don't like that. You should apologize if I were you.
No, fuck you.
Okay, thank you. I'd rather that.
Oh god.
Okay, so he finds this other wizard that sympathizes with the issues and like say, hey, we could probably do something about this and solve it. And then he gets, when they try to do something about it, the old wizard and him get like turned on by all these other wizards who still want to do the corrupt stuff and all that, and they completely cripple the main character, and he has to like, and then he becomes basically reverse Darth Vader.
Reverse Darth Vader.
Like, he gets crippled by the bad guys and has to like wear, I don't know, a special cloak, and that's how you flip the script. So just find a story you like, maybe an obscure story, maybe a popular story, and flip the script in a way or another. Play around with the character tropes or cliches that they have in there, or fix the cliches, and fix your own thing.
Somebody flip the script of The French Pineapple, please.
Somebody flip the script.
Yes.
Okay.
Someone.
But we need to know more about the plot, because not many people know anything about the
They
plot.
flip the script. It's actually Steven's a huge asshole, and Mr. Prime's really nice. Joyful.
Yeah.
Onion Dip is now the worst. But everybody loves him for some reason.
He's this worst, gross-looking thing instead of being the nicest, cutest stuff. But everybody loves it.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that's for writer's block. Now for artist's block, there are many methods I use.
Watching other friends' videos and ignoring it.
Yes, exactly. For example, that's one. Number two, I get writer's block. Like, I design characters all the time, and
someone did like tried to do the flip. Red Time Cat tried to do it. Spanish Apple.
Spanish Apple.
The Spanish Apple.
Spanish Apple.
No, the opposite of the French is the British. Don't you know that we're at war forever? They burned Joan of Arc. Fuck them. Anyway.
What is it? What's the opposite of pineapple? The opposite of the paradise apple, it would be like the shitty... Oh, so it would be the British potato.
The British potato?
The British potato.
I would have said the British pine cone.
The British pine cone. That is equally
the
horrible.
British pine cone. Ew.
Somebody
Gross.
make the British pine cone.
Okay. So, anyways,
Oh.
artist block. One of my solutions, like I design characters all the time, and sometimes I just come to a page, I want to design a new character, and I don't know where to start, and that's where the block comes from. So what I do is I just don't
Shit
design
on the
one
page.
character. I design
Crap all over
10
the page.
characters. I just draw a bunch of silhouettes, different poses, and I decide to give, just off the top of my head, any characteristic, and just do basically fireball, quick shots, lightning round designs to all those silhouettes. And then I find a few that I may like or may not like, and I may use aspects from one or another, or combine all these characters, or maybe not use any of them at all and realize that I'm a terrible excuse for an artist, and I should be disappointed about myself, and everybody's disappointed about me.
That sounds like the usual.
Yeah, that's the usual. Okay. Other method is the face shape thing. Just draw a bunch of shapes, just outlines, just very blobby shapes, or angular shapes, however you want. And you have to fit a human head in there.
Those get me so frustrated.
Yeah, and it's usually going to be a squashed, cartoony head, and that's fine. And just do a bunch of those, and you have to use your creativity to fill that blob with a human head. I did that a few times. If you look at my sketchbook videos, I talk about artist block and those exercises I do from time to time. So that's a podcast you could watch after this one.
Yay.
Yeah.
Go watch all of Steven's podcasts back to back without
that's
sleeping.
that's like what? How many hours of content?
Yeah. Also, yes, Muto, you should probably sleep, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez, bud. What? Yeah, I know. Okay.
Okay. What do you guys have to offer about writer's block?
I'm not good with artist block. Artist block normally means whenever I get artist block, I normally just do something other than art for a really long time and then forget that I had artist block in the first place.
That's terrible.
No, it's awful. It's the worst.
Okay. What about you, Tutt? Let's have good ideas.
Oh.
Well, it is an objectively bad idea to
Okay.
avoid your problems.
Yeah.
Avoid your problems, kids.
Don't complain about me being mean this time. This is genuine. All right, Tutt, your turn. Give us good ideas.
Usually whenever I get a writer's block or an art block, I will go online to look up a prompt generator.
Those are good too.
Yeah, you
like
they give you different and quirky plots and stuff like that, and you can either draw a scenario or you can write about a scenario, like a short one-shot story kind of thing, and that's usually what I do.
I play video games. I play video games to get away from my feelings.
Hey, you want to play some video
There's
games?
a true gamer.
Hey, man.
What are you playing, them Pokemons?
294 games just on one console out of my, 5, and I've played at least 15,000 hours.
Gross.
On just half of that. Hey, I have a problem.
You're a problem.
Oh my
Ooh,
God.
ouch.
Yeah.
Oh,
Let that sink in.
Jesus Christ.
Let that sink
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm not going to. I'm gonna get home. I'm gonna get back to Australia. I'm gonna grab a fucking Guinness and I'm gonna stream me playing games just to fucking spite you.
Well, I won't watch your stream, so there you go.
Yeah, you're gonna get on my stream and be like, you fucking hoe.
No, I'm not even gonna open up your stream, honestly. I'll just ignore it. I'll ignore the bell notification I got from it.
Oh.
Ooh, like I do every
my
time when I get a
That is-
notification from you.
That hurt.
Painful. Ow.
Ruthless.
Oh.
Finish him.
God.
I'm so glad that I'm friends with you, Steven.
Yeah, if you're not, you'd be in a bad position right now. And so would I. Because I have to
Oh my
fucking deal with
God.
you all the time.
Oh, that was awful.
Oh
Alright.
my God.
Memes.
Just make fun of Dev.
Wow, this will be
Christ.
great for an out of context animation.
Oh, absolutely. It'll just make you look like an asshole and me look pitiful.
Look like an asshole.
Yeah.
My kind of meme.
Look like an asshole.
No.
How do assholes look? They don't have eyes.
That's not what. No, it's. You resemble an asshole. You don't. Motherfucker.
I'm just fueling this animation. Be thankful. This is fucking funny. This will make sense when it's animated, okay? Just look at my face
Oh
now.
my
Look at my
God,
face.
I
I'm
can't-
stretching it. I'm stretching my face.
You're such a bitch.
Ooh, now my arms are noodles. Wow, how original. Is this adventure time? Alright.
Oh my god. that was
Rose
fucking
says,
great.
Steven, I'll murder you. And she claims that I am drunk.
No,
And-
no, she's talking about drunk stream.
Stream.
Me downing a Guinness and then playing video games.
Oh, okay. Okay. But she says she's going to murder me.
Yeah.
How's she going to do that from Tampa?
Just
You go to Florida every now and then.
Not anymore.
Never again.
Never again.
Are you never going back to
never
Florida?
again. Go into
Now-
hiding.
Now, because she said this, you're never going back to Florida.
Never.
Never.
Ever.
Oh my
Because
god.
my little brother can fly alone this time because he's old enough next year.
Look at that.
Look at that. Yeah, because I usually go down to Florida because my little brother doesn't know how to fly by himself.
If you watch this later, fuck you, Matt.
Who?
Matt. I call your brother Matt.
My brother's named Matt. Wow, you just name revealed him to everyone.
Your name is Steven.
So? I am a consenting adult. He's a minor. Oh my gosh, DevBear, are you fucking serious? Do you forget that he's a minor?
How does that factor in? I'm so confused.
Well, I can reveal my own. I revealed my own name because I'm a consenting adult. Your name revealed a child.
What is that? What?
No, that's an actual thing. Like, Speechy doesn't want her name revealed. She didn't want her name revealed when she was a child. She doesn't want it revealed now. It was her secret to tell
That's fair.
or to keep. And
Talk
okay,
about
I'm
legal
just fucking.
shit,
I'm just
yeah.
fucking
I
confused.
guess I'm a piece of shit then,
Yeah.
aren't I?
My little brother is okay. His name is Matthew. No last name.
It's spelled really weird too.
It's spelled a French way.
It's really weird, yeah.
Oh, I think I
You're
know
weird.
how it's spelled.
Yeah, his,
Alright.
his name
No.
is Matthew, but it's spelled weird. Your name is Steven, it's spelled completely normal. What the fuck?
Because Steven is an American name, Matthew is not an American name.
It isn't?
Like that?
How is when is Matthew not that where is Matthew? Where is that from?
Matthew is from the Bible, dude. The Gospel by Saint Matthew.
I've never
Read the Bible?
No.
Okay. I mean, it's just the most read book of all
I
time.
tried to read the Bible once. I got about I
Yeah.
think 26 pages
Yeah,
in.
no one reads the Bible anymore, don't worry.
I'm pretty sure Rose is the
Yeah.
Bible.
Okay, well, Rose is a below average human being.
No, buddy.
But
You better fucking lock your doors tonight, Loco. I'm gonna fuck you up.
I always keep them open.
What?
Just always keep them
Whoa.
open.
You know what? I think I'm gonna lock my doors tonight.
Why would you do that, Daddy?
No.
Okay.
No.
Alright, enough. We've been
You
off
gotta
topic for a
realize
while.
I'm also on the front of this, here in my ears, and I did.
I forget something.
God.
Right up in
Alright,
there.
I'm sorry about what happened today, folks.
I'm not. This is comedy gold.
This is common gold.
Yay.
Alright, it's
My
how
God,
we've been
so
streaming
much
for about an hour.
animation
Yes,
gold.
it's been a grand old time.
It's been a grand old time. Lots of laughs to be had there.
Yeah,
Tutt, you better animate this one.
got it.
Don't do it.
You didn't
He's-
animate last week's,
He's
and I
fishing
am
for
mad.
gays.
Gays.
Dude, I got stuff to do.
Yeah, which is animating the golden parts from this podcast.
Gotta give her like 400
It's
bucks
summer
a month.
break. What could you possibly be doing?
Is it summer break?
It's
Becoming an adult.
I don't know. I don't know.
becoming an
school
adult. I did that. It's underrated, honestly.
anymore. Oh yeah, no, it sucks. I mean,
Right.
you have to buy your own socks.
And own food. They
No,
just
no.
your mom doesn't go
No,
do
no,
groceries
no, no.
anymore.
The socks thing is definitely the worst part about being an
I
adult.
don't.
The worst part about being an adult is putting on your socks.
Oh, can't put on my socks
gross.
the normal way. I gotta put
Oh,
on
you know
socks
what's
the
even
adult
worse?
way.
You know
It's
what's
so
even
different.
worse?
Ooh, I sliced my back by
You
accident.
gotta tie your own shoelaces now. Like,
Ooh.
gross.
Just
Ooh.
use Velcro like a normal
Yeah.
person.
Yeah, just Velcro.
Hey,
All
man,
right.
let's do it the Australian way and just put on a pair of thongs and walk outside and just say, "Oh, hey, cunt, go fuck yourself."
All right, I'll go do that now. Goodbye. Good night, everyone. This was fun.
Nice. It's okay for me to make those jokes because I'm from Australia,
Well, it's okay for me
the better
to.
country,
It's okay for me to make.
better than France.
That's very wrong, but sure. You need a victory tonight, so I'll give you that one.
Oh, oh, I got a pity victory. Ow.
You see, that was an insult within itself. All right, that was fun. Is it over, or
when
do we?
JelloCast starts? I wish I could tell you a proper time, but we almost always go over.
Our scheduling is shitty. Just-
Today we were supposed to start at like 7 or 6. We started at 9.
Yep.
Yeah,
9:20, blaze it.
9:20.
I went out and came back home at around like 5 or so. I was so ready, and
And then you like, hey guys, record whenever you want. And an hour later, we got back to her saying, "Oh, sorry, we're about to have dinner."
Yeah.
yeah.
That happened.
That happened today. You look like a fucking alien
That
with your
actually
headphones on that way.
I am an alien. Oh, I'm a son of an alien.
Oh, nice.
Get it?
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah, because what alien actually is.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm a foreigner here too.
Yeah, you're an alien.
Yeah,
You're more an alien than me.
I'm more alien than Steven. Yes.
Correct. Yeah. Wherever I live, I'm always the son of an alien. I'm never
Nice.
not the son of an alien.
Yeah, because if you go to France, you're still the son of an American alien. If
Yep.
you come to America, you're the son of a French alien.
Yeah, and if I go to any other country, I'm the son of 2 different types of aliens.
Yeah, I saw that red-tongued cat, even though you retracted it. Yeah, I imagine people probably have thought that we cancelled it a lot because we have a really
Yeah.
shitty schedule.
Yep. It's worse
Yeah.
than...
Just like make the assumption that we'll start on a Saturday and then just hope,
Wait.
because we won't be able to give you any information possible. If we know beforehand, I'll try to tweet it or some shit. I don't know.
Alright.
Yeah.
Either
All
way,
right. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Yeah, thanks
thank
for
you so
watching
much.
and bearing with me.
Yay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm a
And thank you,
handful.
Steve, for watching.
Go subscribe to
sorry.
Steven if you've been watching
Yeah.
because you like JelloCast. Subscribe to JelloCast, which is just my channel at the moment. If you're from Steven's,
Yeah.
because I want to take his success away from him.
Yep.
Fuck you, Steven.
What's up? Alright. Alright, anything?
What are you
for
fucking
me?
doing, huh?
I'm messaging Tutt because she misspelled my little brother's first name.
Oof.
Listen, it won a whim, okay? Thank you.
You're a whim.
Nice.
Wow.
All right. Well, yeah. Thank you so much for sticking around. And if you've been watching
Yeah.
right from the start, you're the best.
You're the
Thank you.
best around. Nothing's ever gonna get you down. You're the best around. This is where you fade out from the thing and end the show. Nothing's ever gonna fade you out. You're the best around. Every day I imagine futures. You're the best around. Nothing's ever gonna get you down.